Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
From home, honey.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's update on the house. Well, just when I said, how lucky are we that it hasn't snowed, and just how I said, this is unseasonably warm weather, well, this happened. It looks like Christmas out here. I'm waiting for Santa to go by on his sleigh. I don't know if they've been able to keep up with the work on the house. I haven't had any updates. Drupad is away visiting family in India right now for a wedding. So he's not here, but he assures me people have been here working on the house. So I thought I'd come out today, do a little walkabout, and kind of see if I can check it out and see what's been going on. I hope that the snow and I hope that the bad weather hasn't prevented them from getting the job done. So there's only one way to find out. That's for us to go on a tour of the house and see what's happening. Follow along. Okay. Here we are at the house in the trusty old Ford. Thankfully, I replaced the heater in this thing. It's working good now. Well, it looks like people have been here because there's a whole pile of ABS pipe, which tells me that maybe the plumbers have been here, or somebody's building a giant pea shooter, shooting spitballs. There's tire tracks in the snow, so there has been some activity here. Looks a whole lot different in winter. Oh, and I noticed one of our giant trees is missing, like a bucktooth. Our neighbor, those big trees are on the neighbor's side, and one of the trees is missing now, which is super random. I know they're planning on building a house over there, so that might be a little disappointing, because that nice barrier we had of having that privacy wall of trees might be gone if they put a house there and take the trees down. But I guess they're not my trees. Those big trees are mine, so I'll have that. But the other big trees, those are the neighbors. So if they chop them down, there's not much I can really do about it. At least the cedars are still ours on our side. Okay, I'm gonna hop the fence and go in. It's hard to tell from the outside what's been going on. I see piles of pipe lying around. Be very careful with my step because you can't see where all the boards are piled up and stuff. Well, I see some insulated in the garage here. Oh, the concrete guys never came to finish the, they didn't get their scraper tools, their rotary blades, I don't know, the proper, anyway, those things are still there. The name is escaping me, folks, but it's old age setting in. But I can see that the guys were here and they got the ductwork insulated and wrapped, and then they're gonna build a housing around it because it has to be very well insulated inside a garage. And incidentally, this is going to be a heated, dry-walled and insulated garage. So we don't have to worry too much about the cold getting up above us where that bonus room is, which ends right up there. Don't have to worry too much about that because this will be heated and insulated, but we do not want to have any exhaust fumes. I won't be running vehicles in here, but occasionally start them to drive them out. So we want to make sure that's all sealed up good. So it does look like some activity has been happening there. We definitely didn't have HVAC run before. Let's go inside. Walking around the side of the house, I see they did get all the dugouts all done by the windows and the steel put around them. So that's complete. Inside, the house looks more or less the same. And it sure is nice not to have snow pouring in through any of these windows or anything. One thing I can see though is that there is some ductwork coming up through the mechanical wall, all the way up into the ceiling and into each of the rooms. So the HVAC guys have definitely been here. And we see that the fireplace is also, that we've got ductwork by the fireplace. It's vented out the back. So the HVAC guys look like they've been here, which means we're probably very close to getting an inspection done on this work. There's more mechanical. That's why you have to be careful when you're putting screws or nails into your wall. using a stud finder is important because look how close this will sit to the drywall. If you just miss by a nail hole, you could puncture into your heat, which, I mean, so you'd have a bit of loss of heat out of that little hole there, but always good to make sure you know what the heck you're nailing on. And I have a picture that I just got framed, or I'm getting framed, to go on this wall. So I have to use a stud finder when I do it because I don't want to be the guy who ends up puncturing into the ductwork. But we've got the HVAC run all over the place. This is the, that's for the hooded range that's being installed over here. So they've got the ventilation all in place for that. So things are progressing. Let's see. I don't see much for plumbing though. Like I saw a whole pile of ABS pipes, but I don't see that this is a bathroom. I don't see any plumbing there. Maybe I'll check the basement and see if they started down there first. Because if there is gonna be any work that's been happening here, it's gonna be down in the mechanical room, and then they're gonna work their way up. So we'll come down and have a look. The last time I did a video in here, some of you said, why on earth did you put a hallway at the bottom of the stairs? Why didn't you just leave it open? That's because we just simply didn't have the budget to finish this room yet. This is intended to be a big finished room. This wall is temporary. That wall is gonna be built to fly out of the way at a moment's notice. When we have the budget, maybe the next year or two, that wall will come out, this will all be open, and that will make much more sense because then Steven's room won't be immediately off of a living room space. It'll just be down a little bit of a hallway where it's more private. In the meantime though, he'll have a bit of an L-turn, a bit of a private hallway to get to his space until we can do that. But that's why there's a wall here. If you were all wondering at home, why did you put a wall in the basement? That's why. We just simply didn't have the money right now to finish the rest of the basement, but that will be on the radar to do down the road. Let's look at the mechanical. Okay, well, electrical panel is here and there's stuff hooked up to it. I don't think we have any power. There's a plug in there though. I'm not gonna try it. I don't know if they've got the power hooked up. I don't see any fresh pipes or plumbing down in the basement yet because this is where the hot water tank is gonna go. That probably is gonna be next, but obviously they're not gonna pressurize or put water in the system until we get heat going in here. So HVAC really does have to be first so that we can heat this place up and hopefully get these windows sealed off in the meantime as well. In the upstairs of the house, I can see they've got the ductwork run and they've put some screen mesh over top so things don't fall down inside of it. As for the other side, for the cold air intake, they've got the framework started, the metal framework started for the vent to attach to, and the ducting looks like it's in place or just about in place there. So I would estimate it looks like the guys are just about done all the HVAC, other than, you know, they're gonna have to put a a furnace in because it is darn chilly in here right now. But all the vents are just about ready to go. So maybe by the end of next week, the HVAC should be all wrapped up. And it looks like the plumbers are gonna be on site soon because they had all of the ABS pipes outside. And it feels like somebody cleaned in here. It feels like there's not as much debris lying about as there was. So maybe they had a crew come through and do a cleanup because this is a very spick and span work site. There's no garbage, no piles of stuff in the corner. It's really not so bad. It's I'm glad because if this is exactly how I'd want to work my crew too, is make them keep it nice and clean. It just always looks nicer, feels nicer, and I think that things go better once you have a clean environment to work in. So a little bit of work done today, I guess, but I'll have to come back again maybe the next couple of days and see if the plumbers make it through and start getting some of the pipes laid in. I'm gonna head back downstairs. Well, I've had to come back to the house today, not just to check and see what the guys have done, but I'm meeting the bank here. Now, how this project worked was that Melissa and I took what money we had set aside, our savings, to buy the land and to build the house to this point. Our money's all gone now. We got it pretty far, but now the bank needs to kick in and take care of the completion of the build. But they want to make sure that it's, they check in on stages, basically. They want to make sure that some work's actually happened or ready to happen so that they can release more funds. The reason why we wanted to build part of the house with our own money first rather than use that money at the tail end, is that it reduces the interest that we'll have to pay the bank, because we're being borrowed this money for a short term. It's not like a traditional mortgage, it's kind of a loan. Well, it is a loan. It's not kind of a loan, it is a loan. It's a short-term loan. So we saved ourselves probably 5 or 6 months, I guess about 5 months interest by doing it this way, which adds up to a lot when you're talking about a good sum of money. So now the bank kicks in. We're going to get the house completed over the next 4 months or so, sell our house, pay this one off, and we'll be done. But yeah, for us to get the money we need from the bank, they have to come inspect it. So I'm waiting for the inspector to show up. He'll hopefully be here any minute, but I got to go get the door unlocked and get things ready for him. That's why I'm here a little bit early. May as well do a little walk around, see if anything's changed. Let's go check this out. Well, one thing I noticed right off the bat is that the big pile of ABS pipe and plumbing supplies that was here is gone. And I can only hope that that means that they've started to put some of that inside the house. Not just stored in there, but get it set up. I'm gonna get the door unlocked. I'm gonna do a little walkabout before this gentleman shows up. Well, it doesn't look like they've started installing the plumbing yet, but it looks like they're organizing their stuff. They have different lengths of ABS, they've got everything all laid out, which is probably nice for them that they're doing this at this stage, because they can just get everything all organized and set up without having too many people in the way. The flex pipe, all kinds of stuff. So I think probably at some point later today, the plumbers are going to show up and start running all this stuff. Don't know. I think the HVAC is more or less installed. Oh, don't see a furnace down there yet. That probably comes later. But it's a little bit chilly in here. I don't know. It's not just a little bit chilly in here. It's kind of a lot chilly in here. Oh no, look, I'm wrong. They have started to put some of the pipe in. So some of the kitchen stuff. And I don't know if you remember, I was mentioning that they had to punch their exterior holes first. It looks like they're starting to do that, so that they can start getting siding and stuff put on before too long. I'll be excited to see when siding gets put on this house. Really start to look good. So a little bit of the plumbing is going in. I wonder if I'll have a chance to meet the plumber today. Oh yeah, there's more. Bathroom. Oh, I didn't even see that they were getting some of the plumbing done. Yeah, there's some along the side of the wall here too. This is for the laundry room. There's for the dryer vent to exit. There's for your, I guess that's probably a vent for the washing machine. And there's gonna be a little sink over on this side too, like a prep sink, or not a prep sink, like a mop sink in the laundry room. Right where it says sink on the floor. And they've got their joint put on here, which is going to continue down into the basement. So yeah, it does look like the guys have been here doing some plumbing, which is good news to see that progress happening. And in the main floor little bathroom, I can see they've got the plumbing in for the sink, for the drain and the vent, and they have the workings for a future toilet right on the floor there. Wonder if they did anything upstairs too. I've never had to work with the bank to build a house kind of like this before, and it's what they call sort of like a draw mortgage. It's new and different for me. I don't know what happens if they come in and they say we don't like it. Does that mean they're not going to give me the money they agreed to give me? What then? Will I be stuck with this house, having to find a way to pay for the rest of it on my own? I sure hope not. I'm hoping that they're going to come, see that there's progress, and just sign off on it. But who knows? I've never been through this before. Oh, hey, look at that. I'm distracted like a chipmunk because look, there's the shower. It's in place. There's a shower in what will be the kids' bathroom with the plumbing. When we have company stay over, this will be the guest bathroom too. Well, that's pretty cool that that's all getting put in. I wonder if they've done anything over in the master bathroom. Oh yeah, there's the the vent from the kitchen goes all the way up. It runs snakes all along. I gotta be careful where I put my picture frames in this place. Let's see, master bath. Okay, there's for the double sinks, his and her sinks, or Jack and Jill sinks, I guess. I don't know, whatever they call them. It's when you have two sinks in your bathroom. Which will be nice. And this little area in here is where the toilet's gonna be, and there's a little sliding pocket door so you can have some privacy and somebody can still get ready in the bathroom in the morning. Yeah, they have been quite busy. So it looks like they're getting ready to put the, this is where the master shower is gonna go on the side here. That's the floor drain. Or I shouldn't say that's the floor drain, that's where the floor drain will go. And some of the plumbing in place there. Yeah, okay. Starting to see some more progress. This is the portion that's feels a little slower, but it's important work. I, on the other hand, am gonna stay warm in the truck while I wait for this guy to show up because it is minus 17 degrees Celsius outside, and I think it's about the same inside here too. It's pretty darn cold. So I'm gonna go keep warm while I wait for this guy to come, and we'll do this walk around with him. Well, my decision to sit in the truck was probably a smart one because this fellow is about 45 minutes late from the bank. We agreed to meet out here at 9 in the morning. He called me at 8:45, said he was on his way. Still not here. And I have to go open the store pretty soon, so I'm starting to get a little bit stressed about travel time. Plus, I agreed to take Melissa's coat into the dry cleaner today before I go into work. So I hope this guy shows up soon. I've tried calling him, no response yet. So I'm just sitting here waiting, kind of going a little crazy. Hope that they show up soon, because, yeah. Well, today's been fun. Last time I was at the house, they were doing some work on it, and I thought, well, I'm going to drive out and have a look at the property. Today, Drew Pad's back in town. Things are all going forward at the house. That said, though, here I am. I'm driving in the car, or driving in the truck, I should say, and Steven's with me, and we smell this faint smell of, you know, burning plastic. And I go, that's not good. And the whole interior of the cab starts to fill up with gray smoke. So we stop, turn the key off, get out of the vehicle and look around, and I find out that the aftermarket wiring for this AudioVox antenna booster, it's gone bad. It's all the wire is melted, the casing of the wire has melted off. So I rush to the battery, I pull the battery terminal off, and I disconnect it. Well, that melted wire, he had clipped or wound together with the actual part of the harness. And as a result, I think it's kind of screwed up my signal lights a bit. And also my windshield wiper pump. So the wipers work, but not the pump to pump the fluid out. And here I am in winter. I don't know, you can't tell. Anyway, it's getting dusty, so I'm stopping every couple minutes and whipping a snowball at the windshield. So I've got it going into the shop tomorrow to see if they can mend the wiring in that one specific spot, which should just be the wiper switch here to the pump. I could probably do it myself, but I don't have the space. The truck is too small to fit in my, the truck is too big to fit in my current garage. So yeah. I don't have anywhere to really work on it myself right now. That'll change soon enough once the house is all done. And speaking of which, I'm going to head over and see what the guys are up to. Okay, I can see that Drew Pad arrived. We're going to walk over and say hi. It's pretty much straight to business. I'm hanging back a bit because Drew Pad is walking the Atco gas guy around and showing him where the gas line needs to go. Essentially, we've been waiting on this. We put the request in months ago, and they've been a little backed up. So they have to run, oddly, right where the porta potty is. That's not the type of gas we want piped into our house, but the gas line runs in the ditch behind that. So they're gonna directional drill underneath our fence and our trees, and they're gonna come all the way down here, go to the end and hang a corner, and go to the back of the house to get our gas line and our meter put on back there. I'm letting them chat and talk because frankly, I don't know the exact location that the meter, I have a rough idea, but Drupad's got to be the one who points it out and spots it exactly where it needs to go. We're also chatting about when the electricity is going to get hooked up. The electricians are here from Can West Electrical. You can kind of see their vans right over there. The electricians are here and they're inside getting all the lighting, the pot lights, the switches, the wiring all run. But we don't have power to the structure just yet. We're waiting on that. We're waiting on Fortis to come and hook up the pole and put a meter in. So I will find out. I'll ask Drupad that question, I guess, on camera too, and see what the timing is going to be like on that. Inside the house, the guy's been very busy getting the plates in place for where the lights are going to go, getting all the little spots where they're gonna have to run wires to. I mean, basically what you do is you start getting everything in its proper spot and then you start running and pulling cable like crazy. So that is what's happening now. It went HVAC, that was complete. Plumbing, that's more or less ready to go. Wiring, that's next up. Once those things are done, then you can start thinking insulation, drywall, and it really starts to take shape. I can see them working over in the kitchen, getting some work going on in here, and I am just trying to stay out of the way as these guys continue to work their way up and through the ceilings, and they place the line in the backyard. So I'll give them a minute to get caught up, and then we'll find out how Drupad's been. Well, Drupad, welcome back. How was India?
Oh, it was really good, nice and warm. Back to the cold.
You got to see your family?
Got to see family, had a couple of weddings to attend, but it's good to be back home, exhausted from the trip.
I imagine good food?
Good food, yes. That's one thing I love, going back home and trying all the tasty food that they have.
So I guess today is the day that we're finding out what needs to be caught up on. Gas line, they said, what, a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks from now, so it's just been a process. It's almost been 3 months since we applied. They've been a little bit behind for sure.
Is that typical, or is that really delayed compared to normal?
It usually takes about 8 weeks is what we have noticed with application time, and by the time it's installed, it's about 8-week process. Now we're already at 12 and 2 more weeks, so we're definitely behind on this one here.
Okay, and the other thing we noticed is that the electricity was supposed to be hooked up to the building.
Yes, that's right.
And
so we
done
applied before I left, which was 2 weeks ago. The meter should have been installed,
right?
But they're still not here yet. So
meter is not installed, and they also at the same time they would hook it up to the pole, and we'd be good to go.
Exactly.
But we don't have any power as of yet. No. So, which is kind of okay, I guess, because these guys haven't really run much of the electrical yet.
They're just starting rough-ins right now, so we're definitely okay for now.
We're okay, but they could have been tied into that one electrical plug-in on the panel downstairs.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So let's have a look upstairs, and we'll talk about kind of what's going on next. So I did notice in your absence that they have this one tub more or less in place, and it looks like it's just about ready to have a bath, and they've got the water lines run to it. It's starting to look good. So what percentage are we done for plumbing?
For plumbing, the rough-ins are almost done. I think there's one area where we have to fix our heating pipes.
Yeah.
That's the only location they couldn't finish. Basement is still left with all heating, plumbing, and electrical will be left. They'll have to come back next week to do all of that work.
When did they bring the furnace in?
The furnace, that'll be coming in, we're hoping next week or 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
That's the second stage of heating install.
Okay, and I feel like I was supposed to pass along a message. Oh, that the guys from the well service, they said give them a week's heads up when you have the water lines ready to be pressurized, so they can come. They would need a week's notice, and they'll come out and hook everything up from their perspective. Okay. So more or less, we're still on track, right?
Absolutely, I think so. We're well on track. I think all the rough-in guys are in as we had planned. In our last video, we said that they'll be here around this time.
Yeah, and it's all happening
on schedule. I have a bit of catching up to do. I just got here, so
yes, you're still probably jet lagged.
I'll take a look, write down a list of things that people have missed, and get it all done.
How long of a flight was that, anyway?
It was like 35 hours.
35. You must really love your family.
I do. They don't realize how much of an effort it takes to get back home.
Oh, I bet. Okay.
Yeah, but I came back home last night and fell right to bed.
Well, it'll take a couple days to get turned around. I appreciate you coming out to meet us today.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'll have another little look around the property.
For sure.
In the main floor washroom, we have done a couple things. The freestanding tub, which is going to be kind of over by the window, I decided to upgrade and get one that has air jets in it. Now, do they not do regular water jets anymore?
They do, but not in the freestanding tubs. It's it's more rare in the freestanding tub. It's
Right.
common in those drop-in tubs around the frame. It's very common having a jacuzzi with air jets and so on.
But it's less risk of bacteria and so forth with air jets. I think they said it's a much cleaner system.
Absolutely, it is.
And so to put that in, we have to install a motor to operate that tub, which is going to go underneath the sink here.
Right.
And we're going to have to rejig a couple things in this area, but that's okay. We've also decided to go, you can hear all the work happening right underneath our feet. We decided to do in-floor heating in the upstairs bathroom.
I think in-floor heating is quite underrated. I think if you're building a custom home for yourself, it's such an added feature, especially in the tiled areas. In our winters where it gets minus 30, minus 40 outside, the tiles do tend to get really cold. So it's definitely a good added feature that you opted for.
Yeah, and I think it'll be nice when you get out of the tub or the shower to have a warm place to put your feet as you walk out.
Exactly. So all the rough-ins are happening right now. Once all of that is done, once you guys have done a walkthrough and are happy with all the rough-in locations, we'll have our insulators coming in, starting installation, drywall, and then you'll start seeing walls go up inside and get a real feel for your rooms.
And you said the siding guys are actually coming next week?
So we had them scheduled tentatively for December 6th is what we've scheduled them for. I'll have to confirm again today, just to see that they have their material in place, their crews lined up, and they can start next week.
Okay, so I know it's not going to be instant, but they'll probably start putting the edges on and getting stuff ready to start doing some of the house. So possibly by Christmas time, it'll look more house-like on the outside, even though it won't be.
No, you'll see, like the siding would have started by Christmas time. Probably mid-January is when you can expect them to be fully done.
Yeah, we lose a little bit of time around Christmas and
people,
New Year's.
Exactly. Lots of vacations happening at that time, so you definitely lose some time.
Well, thank you again for meeting me out here today. The house is looking great, and we'll keep checking in to see the progress.
Yeah, great to hear. Always a pleasure to meet you. Thanks.
There is one thing that I did want to change about the house, and that is this area right here. We had budgeted just to do sort of a little hallway going down to Steven's room, but it kind of makes it feel a little closed off, especially considering we've got this great big area on the other side of what would be a wall, which would be unused. It would be dead space. We've got these beautiful windows here. So although I am still trying to figure out how to budget for this, I made the decision here to remove this wall and open it up so when you come down the stairs, it opens into a nice big living room in the basement. And that way, you won't have twists and turns going down to Steven's room. It'll just be down the end of a hall. It'll make it much more open, much more bright. And although it's an extra expense, I think it's well worthwhile. So currently we had planned for there to be, you come down the steps like this, and there would have been a door and a little hallway here. I'll back up so you can kind of see. There would have been this little hallway. And what I'm proposing is that we get rid of that wall completely. We take it right back to the corner of the bedroom there. We give ourselves an extra foot there. We get rid of this whole little stub wall here, and we continue that wall over and put a door on it. So this space down here becomes a doorway that goes back into our storage area because we need a space just to store stuff. So we'll put shelves all in here where we can put plastic bins and store stuff nice and neat. We'll still have our mechanical room off to the side. So this will be sort of the area of the house that's more unfinished. But when you get here, there will be a door and it'll go right into a proper finished living space. And it'll go right to the steps, right to the stairs. So you gain all that square footage. So it'll be from right there all the way over. It'll be a nice big living space. And I think it'll be a lot more attractive place for Steven to hang out. And if we have company stay with us, they can have a place where they can kind of set up. Maybe we can get a couch or a bed down here for company. More expensive, but I think it's the right choice. So that's it for this week. We're making a couple adjustments. The big one being trying to finish that basement space and get rid of that narrow hallway that's down there. So Steven really has a much bigger living space. That is going to be a larger expense for us, but I think in the long run it'll be well worthwhile. We're hoping that very soon, this week or next, that they get the electricity hooked up to the house. And, you know, as we make some minor little changes, I guess that's how it goes. And I'm always very apologetic, but, you know, you don't want to make too many changes because they've been planning for these things, but you also want to make sure it's right and make sure that it's home. One of the other things we looked at was our railing originally was going to be all white. That included the handrail with the spindles, everything. We've decided now to go with a stained finish on the top of the railings and the end post that matches our floor. Apparently there's no extra cost for that because they have to finish it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's that basement finishing that is going to cost a little bit. So good news, gas line will be going in soon. Electricity hopefully hooked up very soon. And we're almost at a stage where we can think about insulation, and then they can start getting the siding on. So it'll look more like a house, it'll function more like a house soon once we get the gas lines and everything hooked up. So more to come, I'm sure, very soon as we work our way through this place. It's fun, it's stressful, it's expensive building a house, but at the end of the day, your home is probably one of the most important things. You know, cavemen, they looked for that cave and they lived in that cave and they decorated their cave. This is what we're doing. And no different than a caveman in a lot of ways. I just want to have a nice cave for my family to hang out in, and there's nothing in life more important to me than taking care of them and taking care of the kids and Melissa, and making sure we're all happy and have a great place to live, a great environment. So with that, guys, I'm going to keep pressing forward. We're going to keep doing what we do and make this dream come true. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure to tune in for an update video coming soon. Big changes, I think, will be happening next when we start getting insulation drywall and siding up. It'll really start to take place, or take shape, that is. Have a wonderful day, guys. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.